gone. There it is. Ace to win the set. It's caught. 20-10. Touchdown.
This is going to be in the gap.
Yes! Yes! Goal! Go to the deflection. The Ann Arbor Huskies win their first state championship.
From Castle Field, it is early April. High school baseball in the Northwest Suburban Conference on QCTV. Here today, a team that was in the state tournament a year ago against a team and hosting a team that has high aspirations here this season to get back to the state tournament for the first time in 10 years. The Anoka Tornadoes are hosting the Elk River Elks here this afternoon with partial sunshine, some broken clouds. I'm Jim Erickson, QCTV Sports, with our first baseball broadcast of the season here from Castle Field. Elk River, it's their first game of the season. Meanwhile, the Anoka Tornadoes opened up with a close, low-scoring game, a game originally scheduled for yesterday here at Castle Field. They flipped over to Fridley and played it to Tino Grace, and it was a 2-1 Tornado win, 6 hits, a couple of hits for Frecking, a total 6 hits, RBI for Jagger yesterday as they picked up that 2-1 win. Edlin was the winning pitcher, going 5 innings for Anoka in that win over to Tino Grace from yesterday. Let's take a look at the fielding alignment here for the Tornadoes here this afternoon. You see that Chase Bauer, who did not pitch any innings last year. That's the story of this year's Tornadoes team. They lost a whole slew of players. They lost their 3 and 4 hitters. They lost their number 1 and their number 2 arms last year. So a lot of young pitchers are going to be called upon. Evan Frecking, who was expected to pitch because of his football injury, he's not going to be able to pitch. He's going to play, but he won't be able to pitch here this season. So that calls up the youngsters. Chase Bauer, who didn't pitch any varsity innings, he'll get the start. And you see the rest of the field here for the Anoka Tornadoes here with Lang, Poser, Tatkenhorst, and Rassett around the horn here for Anoka. They're going to face the Elk River Elks. Elks, again, we mentioned before, their first game of the season, leading into this one here. And they were close last year. They finished 3rd in their section. There's the lineup for Josh Jutinen in his second year. Took over for Ryan Holmgren, was a longtime assistant here at Elk River. Chase Bauer, the junior right fielder, ready to go, and here is his pitch, and it is a strike called. 1 strike. Andrew Palm, the catcher here for Elk River. Leading it off, Palm, Grebner, and Stockman. Bauer ready, right-hander. Here's his pitch, and it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, according to Coach Shannon Blandsett. Bauer, fastball, curveball, changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. In the air, center field. Bernard's a center fielder. This one's well hit. That's going to be over his head. All the way to the fence. Palm's at second. He's going to chug for third. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and the throw is offline. It's a triple for Andrew Palm here for Elk River. And that's how we start this one here. First game of the season for the Elks, and they started out with a triple. Palm got into that pitch from Bauer and hit it in the left center field gap, and Bernard, center field, tried to get on his horse to get to it. Over his head to the fence and the warning track. Palm was a .329 hitter. This Elk River team's got a lot of experience coming back. All 10 of their starters here today are seniors. Now Brett Grebner, the senior shortstop, on the outside corner, off speed there from Bauer, 1 strike. Grebner, a .208 hitter last year, 8 runs batted in, 10 stolen bases here for Elk River. They returned 7 everyday starters, including 1 player that saw a lot of time. Here's another curveball, this one across, and Grebner is at no balls and 2 strikes. Grebner is going to be one of the 2 top pitchers here for Elk River, along with their pitcher here today, Miles Hansen. Bouncer to the right side. Rassett will take it himself, and the runner at third will hold. So nice out there by Bauer. Key out here, getting an infield ground out with Grebner being retired, 1 down.
Batting third, the designated hitter, number 5, Sam Stockman.
Here's Sam Stockman, best player from a year ago, .408 hitter, had the only 2 home runs for the club, 15 runs batted in. He also is returning from an injury. And the first pitch to him, he takes just inside, ball 1 here from Bauer. Stockman was their top pitcher last year. with outstanding numbers, but because of his injury, he'll be limited to DH duties here this season for the Elks. The 1-0 pitch, there's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stockman at DH. He's hitting for the left fielder, Elias Herzog, here this afternoon. Bauer with a runner at third. 1 down, top of the first. And that's in the dirt and stopped. And the runner at third, once again, Palm is going to hold up. And Seaman able to make the stop and kept it in front of him. Actually, it hit him, so he's going to go to first base. So that was in the dirt. Hit Stockman, as it turns out, and he's going to head to first base.
Batting fourth, the pitcher, number 14, Miles
So it was
Hansen.
a dead ball. That's why the runner at third, Palm, stayed there. And that'll put Stockman at first, Palm at third, runners at the corners. Catcher Parker Seaman will signal here in a first and third situation. The batter is the cleanup hitter, Miles Hansen. .324 last year, led the team in runs batted in. He had 16. Mentioned the Elks last year. Third place in their section, 16-9, 9-3. Second place in the Northwest Suburban Conference behind Champlin Park. Stockman gets the lead over at first. That one in the dirt. Seaman knocks it down. Ball 1 here to Miles Hansen. Hansen and Grebner will be their top pitchers. Again, Stockman over at first. Again, like we mentioned before, he had easily the team lead in innings pitched last year, 44 1/3. 1 ball, no strikes to Hansen. We'll see him on the mound in the bottom of the first, and he takes a strike there, 1-1. Stockman last year is 4-2 with a 2.05 ERA, 60 strikeouts and 13 walks given up. It's just hard to believe that Stockman isn't pitching, especially here against Anoka. There's a throw to first, and he dives back in. The last 2 times these teams have played, including at Target Field 2 years ago, was Sam Stockman, who was the pitcher for Elk River. Last year, Elk River won 3-1 over there, and then the game at Target Field 2 years ago was 1-0 Anoka after the Twins. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out, throw to first again. And they're keeping a close eye over at first. That's Rassett, the first baseman, holding over at first with Sam Stockman. Cherry's the second baseman. Poser's at short. Tatkenhorst is the third baseman. Runner bluffs. Throw down there, and he's going to sail it into right field. That'll score a run. So Stockman took off and fake, kind of baited the throw, and the throw sailed into right field. Stockman stays at first. Palm will come in to score on an error. And it's 1-0 Elk River. See it right here. Stockman got a good lead, and then the throw into the outfield. 2 balls and 1 strike. That's low. Now 3-1. TJ Riley would bat next for Elk River. We're in the top of the first, just underway. These teams will meet just once this season as the Northwest Suburban Conference has ballooned to the number of teams that it has now. You don't have that double round robin as much. You don't play as many teams twice in a number of the sports. Here's a pitch that's outside, and it's ball 4. So Hansen at first. Stockman now goes to second. Still just the 1 out. And here's TJ Riley.
TJ Riley.
All 9 of the batters in the order here for Coach Josh Jutinen, with significant varsity at bats last year, other than the number 8 hitter, Tim Johnson, who was just 1 at bat last year. He'll bat 8th. He's playing at first base today for Elk River. He was 1 for 1 last year. We're going to get a runner over at first base for the pitcher Hansen.
Vinny Carlson, number 11, the courtesy runner for the pitcher Hansen.
And that'll be Vinny Carlson. So Carlson over at first. First and second to here for Elk River. And the first offering from Chase Bowers outside to Riley. Ball 1. Riley, a .222 hitter last year. 9 runs batted in. First baseman Rassett playing in front of the runner. Here's the Bauer pitch, and it's low, 2-0. Talking to Coach Shannon Blansett. 11th season now here with Anoka. Boy, time just flies. 2-0. The Bauer pitch Popped up right side of the infield. Should be infield fly, and Cherry, the second baseman, makes the catch. Now 2 outs. Big out there for Bauer, and that'll leave it up to Logan Bunker. But talking to Coach Blansett, they've also had injuries. A number of guys suffered football injuries, including Evan Frecking. And they're just going to be young. They're going to be young. There's going to be some growing pains here early on. And again, they were able to turn a somewhat slow start last year into a state tournament appearance. There's a called strike. 1 strike here to Bunker. Tornadoes last year made it to state for the 8th time in program history. Lost to Edina and Sartell in the state tournament quarterfinals, and then the consolation, low and away on the breaking ball. 1 strike. Outfield for the Tornadoes, you can see Bernard out in center. Lang is in right field. Bruner a little bit to the left of your shot there, out in left. 1 strike, 2 down. On the outside corner. Gets ahead in the count here, 1 strikes. Owen Van Drale would bat next, the senior second baseman. Rassett behind the runner at first. On the ground to short. Down to get it. Poser having some trouble with it. He'll throw it to second. Everybody's going to be safe. And the bases will be loaded. That'll be an air charged, allowing Bunker to gain first base. Stockman is at third. Hansen at second. Bunker at first. Bases loaded here for Elk River with 2 down. And their number 7 hitter, Owen Van Drale. 307 a year ago, 13 runs batted in, 11 stolen bases as well. Senior second baseman steps in, and the right-handed pitch from Bowers on the outside corner. 1 strike. 0-1 to Van Drale. Just missed. 1 strike. Bowers, a junior here for the Tornadoes. Ryan Tatkenhorst is going to, of course, be a pitcher that they're going to have to count on here as well. Talking with Coach Shannon Blansett about their youth. Mason Conan. They're both sophomores, Tatkenhorst and Conan. Fouled at the plate, and it'll stay 1 strikes. Tornadoes had just 1 pitcher returning this year that had 15 or more innings pitched last year. So that is going to be an area and a work in progress certainly early in the season. 1 strikes, 2 down. Van Drale on the ground to second. Cherry gobbles it up, toss over to the shortstop Poser, who is covering there. And that's all for Elk River here. So could have been a whole lot more here in the top of the first inning. But Bauer pitches out of it, gives up just that run and that leadoff triple, then the air. So 1 run, that's an unearned run, and a total of just 1 hit in this inning. And they leave the bases loaded. Top of the first inning, it's Elk River 1 and Anoka coming up here at Castle Field on QCTV Sports. senior shortstop, to lead it off, batting .260 from last year, 11 runs batted in.
The shortstop, number 18, Sam Poser.
Their top hitter coming up and coming back from last year, Evan Frecking, who hit .303. He's in the number 4 spot. It's Poser, Bernard, and Rassett here for Anoka. And first pitch swinging to the right center field gap. On the run, Bunker, the center fielder, will have to play it on a hop. So both teams starting this game with a base hit. Triple for Elk River in the top of the first inning. Off the bat of Andrew Palm, and now Sam Poser. The first baseman hits one the opposite way into right center field for a leadoff hit.
Center fielder, number 22, Clay Bernard.
Clay Bernard, .231 hitter from a year ago, run batted in. Last year, 3 for 13, senior center fielder. Sporting the white batting helmet, over at first is Poser. First baseman Johnson holding there for the Elks, and the first offering him from Hansen is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Riley Grebner on the left side of the infield. Van Drale is at second. Johnson's the first baseman, holding with Poser. And trying to frame that pitch is the catcher Palm, but it's low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Tornadoes with just 3 returning starters coming back in their lineup. So like we said, they lost a lot, plus Luke DeShane is going to be their catcher. He's out for the season, recovering from a football arm injury as well. 2 balls, no strikes. Slow roller, tough play for Riley, and he's not going to get it. Everybody's going to be safe. That'll be an infield hit. And Poser and Bernard now both on. Bernard at first, Poser at second. Elk River scored a run on a hit, couple of errors, left 3 in the top half of the first. And here Anoka getting right to work in the bottom of the first. Senior first baseman Marshall Rassett. Hit .200 last year, was 1 for 5. So even some of these guys that did have varsity experience in the lineup here today, not extensive varsity experience. Bernard, 13 at-bats. Rassett with 5. First pitch to him is a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch, popped up right side. First baseman Johnson, foul territory, and he got there, but got turned around, and that ends up landing in foul territory. And it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to Rassett with Frecking on deck. Coach Blancett said all the injuries that they've had here to start the season, forcing them to be creative early here this season until they get healthy. 1-1 to Rassett with 2 on, nobody out. Pitches from Hansen, foul back to our left towards the parking lot. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Again, we thank fans for retrieving foul balls and returning them to either dugout.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Both teams had games postponed last week, which was kind of funny. I mean, could have played ball in middle February. On the ground towards the bag at third and wide of the bag and foul. So I'm sure every baseball, softball, track and field, golf coach, they're sitting in February. Winter sports just starting to get into section playoffs, and they're going, we're going to get going early. Let's see if we can move some of our games to March. And then here comes winter back end of March and into April. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Curveball hit him. That got him. And Rassett seems okay. He runs down the line, runs that pain out, whatever pain there was. It looked painful at first. I mean, the way he winced. And then he just decided, oh, that's not going to bother me. I'm just going to run down to the bag. And that's exactly what Rassett did. So each team has a hit by pitch. Poser to third, Bernard at second, Rassett at first. Bases are loaded here. Miles Hansen, the senior pitcher for Elk River, in a jam for the cleanup hitter Evan Frecking. Mentioned the top hitter returning here for the Tornadoes. First pitch swinging, ropes it to center, but right at bunker. Tagging at third is Poser. He'll come and score easily, and we're tied at 1. Boy, Frecking really had that one lined up. Hit it right on the screws, but it was right at bunker for the first out of the inning. Other runners stay put. Poser comes in to score. RBI for Frecking and a sacrifice fly. in that 2-1 win for Anoka yesterday at Totino Grace. It was Frecking going 2 for 3 in that game. Jaeger went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Pitch is high, ball 1-0 to Braden Cherry. Braden Cherry, 17 at-bats for the Tornadoes a year ago, had a couple of hits. Hit 118. Chipped in 3 runs batted in for the Section 8 champs. 1-0 pitch at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Couple hits this inning here for Anoka. They've tied it up, threatening to take the lead here with first and second. Off-speed pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Coach Junton told me that Miles Hansen, fastball, changeup, slider, his 3 main pitches. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gear to Cherry. Here's his set and the pitch up high. Now 3-1. First 3-ball count here that Hansen has had, with Hunter Bruner on deck. Hansen to the plate, and he got the inside corner to fill the count. That slider just did slide enough and got the inside part. And it's full now to Cherry, 3-2. Rassett's at first. Bernard is at second. Runner at second goes. Swung on and missed. And the runners will advance. They will not draw a throw, so a hit and run was on. The 2 runners advance, but Cherry goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. First strikeout for Hansen. Hansen had 11 strikeouts last year in 18 innings. He also had 11 walks, but that's his first strikeout of the season there here for Elk River. And that'll leave up to the number 6 hitter, Hunter Bruner. High and away, ball 1. The bottom 4 hitters here for Anoka are all 4 hitters that did not have any varsity at bats last year. Bruner, Tatgenhorst, Lang, and Seaman. Here's the 1-0. Slider that misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Shannon Blandsett coaching down at third base. Mentioned his 11th year, 173. I think he picked up his 174th win as Tornadoes head coach yesterday. 2 balls, no strikes on the inside corner. Not that one across, and 2-1. Coach Blandsett, former head coach at Park Center. He was an assistant at St. Anthony Village also before coming here to Anoka. Set in the pitch. That one tails away, fastball outside, 3-1. A native of Fox Valley, Wisconsin. He brought his fandom of all Wisconsin sports here to Anoka. 3-1 to Bruner. That's a slider. Back door. And Bruner looked at it. Looked like it was going to be out of the strike zone on 3-1. He takes, and it's 3-2. That one really swept across there for Hansen. 2 down. Second and third. Big pitch here. 3-2. On the ground to the right side. It'll be the first baseman, Johnson. And over to cover is Hansen for the final out of the inning. So both teams scored a run here in the first. Both teams threatened for a whole lot more. But once again, just like Elk River in the top of the inning, Anoka will have to settle for 1. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They leave 2 on. We played 1, and we go to the second here as the sun starts to break out at Castle Field in this season opener for Elk River. Game number 2 for Anoka, all tied at 1 on QCTV Sports. We're on QCTV. Welcome back here, the campus of Anoka High School in Castle Field. If I did my math correctly, I think we're in our 12th season here playing baseball at the new Castle Field. And the sun has been kind of dancing around the clouds here this afternoon. All tied at 1 as I go to the top of the second inning here for Elk River. And it'll be their number 8 hitter with Tim Johnson, Kyler Mossengren, then the top of the order, Andrew Palm. Pitch is up high. 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man. Owen Van Drale ended the first inning with a fielder's choice. Logan Bunker was forced out at second. 2 balls and no strikes here to Johnson. And there's a called strike, 2-1. Out of the 9 batters in the lineup here for Elk River, Johnson has the least amount of experience, just 1 at bat last year. Now, he made that bat count. He did get a base hit. Big cut here, and it's 2-2. Sartell St. Stephen was the Section 8 4A champs a year ago, and they're the team that beat Anoka then in the consolation semifinals in the state tournament. Off the end of the bat, fouled back to the screen, and it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Elk River last year lost to Rogers 3-1 in the elimination bracket. Then Rogers lost to Sartell 8-3. Pitches up high, 2-2, fills the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Field looks to be in good early April condition. Full count, 3-2 to Johnson. And it's in tight, ball 4. Second walk given up here in the game for Chase Bauer. And the only run unearned.
Batting ninth, the right
Bauer
fielder,
gave up
number
that,
2.
Leadoff triple to Andrew Palm, who is now in the on-deck circle. But then a put-out hit by pitch, a walk, and then an error. And the only hit was the Andrew Palm triple. Number 9 hitter, Kyler Mossengren here for the Elks. Line to right center, and that one is going to slice in there for a hit. So Mossengren, the number 9 hitter, at 5 RBIs last year, hit .250. And in his first bat of the season, gets a base hit. Second one of the game for the Elks will go to the top of the order. Runners at first and second, and Andrew Palm. Of course, the Elk River Elks made it to the state hockey tournament. No players on the varsity roster were on that state tournament team. Low and away. Bauer sweeps one. And a nice stop there by Seaman. 1 ball, no strikes. Palm on the 3rd pitch he saw in the first inning. Hit it over the head of the center fielder Bernard. Quick throw to second. Quick move there by Bauer, and diving back Johnson. Anoka last year, they had to defeat Centennial twice. They lost to Centennial in the early rounds of the sections, and they had to beat them in the double elimination to make it to state. 1-0 here to Palm on the outside corner. Called a strike, 1-1. Ryan Belfi is our home plate umpire. Rich Lindsay working the base paths here. Northwest Suburban Conference high school baseball game. 1-1 delivery. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-1, still nobody out. Call the strike, evens the count, 2-2. Josh Jutinen is coaching over at third, second season. Ryan Holmgren, head coach 11 seasons, was the head coach for 7 seasons. Josh had been an assistant under him for 7 years. He's an Elk River grad. Graduated in 04, was all-state, all-metro, all-conference. That 2-2 pitch also in the dirt. Now that fills the count at 3 balls, 2 strikes, tied at 1. Both teams a couple of hits. Anoka with the 2 errors that were charged to them back in the bottom of the first. Grebner on deck, payoff pitch, 3-2. First and second, nobody out. To the plate, Bauer, and in the air, well hit, left center field. That'll split the fielders. One hop the fence. Johnson has scored. Mossengren, he's rounding third. He's shortly behind Johnson, just a couple of strides, and it's a 2-run double by Andrew Palm. What a start to the season for the senior catcher. Triple and now a 2-run double, and it's 3-1 Elk River. Palm had 6 RBIs all of last season, and he has 2 already here this season. Well hit double to left center field. And he's in scoring position, still nobody out. And Brett Grebner, who will be their number 2 starter here. I think it's kind of 1A, 1B, according to what Josh Jutinen said. It was Miles Hansen getting the start here today. Squared a bunt, gets a piece of it at the plate, 1 strike. Grebner grounded out to first for the first out of the season for the Elks back in the first inning. 2.8 hitter last year, 208, 8 runs batted in. Double-digit stolen bases with 10. First baseman sneaking in once again, taking a look for that bunt attempt, and ends up being pulled towards him foul. No balls and 2 strikes here. It's Rassett over at first. Grebner showed bunt on the first pitch. That one swinging away. And now at 0-2, Rassett will move back in normal position here. Grebner won't be squaring here 0-2. Nobody out. Runner at second. Quick throw down there, and just getting a hand in was Palm. That throw by Bauer was perfectly where it needed to be if they were going to get him. It was low and on the third base side of the bag. And Palm just did get his hand back in there. No balls, 2 strikes to Grebner. Bauer looking for his first out of the inning, and he comes in tight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year the Elks were 18-8, 8-4 in the Northwest Suburban. They were, 9-3 in the Northwest Suburban, and 16-9 overall. Anoka was 18-8 last year. Here's one on the ground to second towards the bag. Cherry goes down, and he's not going to have a play. He had it, and then he lost his footing. That's a tough one to score. We're going to give an error to Cherry on that play.
Sam Stockman.
So error on Cherry. Grebner's at first, and advancing to third is Palm. First and third, still nobody out. That was a tough luck play there. He didn't have a force out at second, and just lost his footing, and no way that he could plant and throw to first. Now it's Sam Stockman. Hit by a pitch back in the first. Rassett holding over at first. First pitch, runner goes. No throw. It's a called strike. It'll be the defensive indifference. Not wanting to throw down at second and possibly allowing that runner from third to score on a throw that misses down to second. So second and third, it's 1 strike to Stockman. He ropes this one up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Palm is in. Grebner will stop at third. And it's a 3-run inning for Elk River, and they lead it 4-1. Just Stockman, nice piece of hitting, going with the pitch, right back up the middle. Not trying to pull it, just going where the pitch is. And you know, the one that he hit back in the first inning was a frozen rope. And actually that was, who was that? There was a frozen rope that was hit out to center back in the first inning. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, that was Evan Frecking from Anoka. Stockman had been hit by the pitch, and now he gets the base hit. Gets an RBI to go with his 15 that he had last year. Still nobody out. Runners again at the corners, first and third. Grebner at third, Stockman at first, Hansen the batter, and it's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Hansen walked in the first. Batting in that cleanup spot. .324 hitter last year with 16 runs batted in. 3 runs on 3 hits here this inning. This one a bouncer to short. Poser charges on the grass. Throw to first. They'll get the out. Run scores. So Grebner scores. We'll give Hansen an RBI in that ground out 6-3 scoring play. Stockman advances to second. Now 5-run, all of a sudden a 4-run inning, 5-1 lead for Elk River.
Third baseman TJ Riley.
And now the third baseman TJ Riley takes a strike. Riley flied to second back in the second inning, and with runners at first and second and less than 2 outs in an infield fly rule situation. 1 strike pitch pulled foul past the Anoka dugout. And it's now no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, nice change. Pulled the string on 0-2, and Bauer got him to chase. When you're ahead of the batter 0-2, you can take a little bit of license and throw that pitch, and that's exactly what Riley did there as he chased that from Chase Bauer. Chase made him chase, which just came up that right now. I'm sure not the first one to say that, as Chase Bauer has gone through his pitching career, but he starts here with a strike to Logan Bunker. Now with 2 down. First strike out of the game for Chase Bauer here for the Tornadoes. Bunker 1 strike to him. Reached on an error and then was forced out at second base for the final out of the first inning. Turns on this one. Well hit down the line, but foul. Just wide of the left field line. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Stockman still at second. Yeah, you've got the second and third place teams last year in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Of course, Champlin won the conference title last year, went 10-2. 0-2 with 2 outs. Bauer tried to get him to chase again. This one was low and in. Throw down to third as Stockman was going. He'll get a stolen base. Stockman now 90 feet away. Pitch was a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stockman had 4 stolen bases all of last year. Gets one here. 1-2 pitch, low 2-2. If Bunker can get on, Owen Van Drail on deck here for Elk River. The Elks have batted 8 here. Bunker, the 8th man to bat in this 4-run second inning, and Bauer trying to keep it at 4. Delivers on the outside corner, got him looking. That's back-to-back strikeouts here for Bauer. A couple of big ones here. He strands Stockman at third, but a big inning here for Elk River in the top of the second inning. 4 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and then the 1 left on at third. 1.5, bottom of the second coming up. Elk River's open up a 4-run lead. The Elks 5, Tornadoes 1 here on QCTV.
Hi, this is Cole with Anoka County Ship, and I have a question for you. When was the last time you moved from your seat? Movement makes all the difference in living the healthiest life you can, especially if you're working from home or the office where you're probably sitting down all day. So whether it's getting up for a cup of coffee or walking over to check out the window, a little bit of movement can make a lot of difference for your health. So get up and get moving with Anoka County Ship. every day at goanokacounty.org. Thanks.
But when it comes. Here we go to the bottom of the second inning, and Anoka here on their home field. Home opener for the Tornadoes here today at Castle Field. But they find themselves now down 5-1. 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Elks, and the Tornadoes 1 run, 2 hits, 3 errors entering the bottom of the second inning. Tatkenhorst, Lang, and Seaman. And the first pitch swinging here, Tatkenhorst hits it over to second, and he is retired. Van Drale over to Johnson, 1 out. Tatkenhorst is retired. First at bat, first varsity at bat. All these guys here, Bruner, Tatkenhorst, Lang, and Seaman, all experiencing their first varsity at bats. I should say that was yesterday if they were in the lineup. First home varsity at bats, to get technical and accurate. Here is Lang, and he takes strike 1. So Miles Hansen, the senior pitcher, struggled a little bit in the first inning. Gave up a couple of hits, hit a batter, but he's trying to settle in here now with his team giving him a 5-1 lead. Swing and a miss there by Lang, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Seaman on deck. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 3-pitch strikeout. Lang down, 2 up, 2 down.
The catcher, number 11, Parker Seaman.
Second strikeout of the game for Miles Hansen. And now the catcher, Parker Seaman. And he'll take the off-speed pitch inside, ball 1. And Luke Duchesne was expected to be their everyday catcher here for the Tornadoes, but he's recovering from a football injury. So next man up mentality, it's Parker Seaman. Popped up here in the 2-0 pitch. Right side of the infield. Grebner and Van Drale will be Van Drale in shallow center field to make the catch in our first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. Bottom third of the Anoka order goes down in order. 1-2-3, 2 innings here at Castle Field. 5-1 Elk River on QCTV Sports.
Hi, my name is Catherine Tokar-Hayden, and I'm a local author who finally realized the lifelong dream of writing a novel. It is an adventure, mystery, crime novel called Crashing Through the Windshield. It's a story about FBI agent Jack Jurlick, who's driving as fast as he can to find his wife and son who have gone missing. Jack soon discovers that the road ahead is taking him where he never thought he'd go. The book has gotten good reviews on Amazon. It's also available online at Barnes & Noble and on my website, catherinetokarhated.com. You can also get it at any of the Metro County libraries. I hope you'll read this entertaining, fast-paced, and page-turning story.
First of our springtime broadcast here on QCTV. Elk River leading Anoka. Varsity baseball here this afternoon, 5-1. I guess I could officially say evening now as we've passed the 5 o'clock hour. And for the Elks here in the third inning, Owen Van Drale, the senior second baseman. Elk River scored 4 in the last inning, sent 8 to the plate in the top of the second. Here in the top of the third, the Chase Bauer pitch is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Bauer, the junior right fielder, did not pitch varsity last year. No varsity innings pitched. 1-0 delivery here is a strike. Took something off that. 1-1. Van Drale, nice season last year. 307 for Elk River. 1-1 pitch fouled. And it's 1-2. Josh Jutinen talking about the confidence they have with all their players coming back. Good 1-2-3 punch amongst their starting pitchers with returning experience. 1-2, now 2-2. You know, I think when this Elk River team gets going this year, other teams are going to say, man, just as the 2-2 delivery here pulled foul off the handle. And they're going to say, man, how tough would they be if Sam was able to pitch? But again, that's something I'm sure that Coach Jutin and his staff, they said, okay, guys, we can't count on Sam. He can't pitch this year. You know, he was our guy last year. We need other guys to stand up and be the guy or the guys to get them to where they want. There's a called strike. Beautiful pitch by Chase Bauer, and Van Drale down looking. That's 3 straight strikeouts here for Bauer. So last inning we talked about Miles Hansen kind of settling in. And now Bauer settling in. Struck out Riley swinging, and then Bunker, and now Van Drale to start this inning looking. Hangs up for Bernard. 1 pitch, and Johnson is out, 2 down.
The right fielder, Kyler Mussengren.
3 strikeouts in a row for Bauer, and then the line out by Johnson. 3 strikeouts for the game. Number 9 hitter Kyler Mussengren singled in that 4-run second inning. Swing and a miss, big cut here, and he comes up empty, 1 strike. Again, Anoka 2-1 win at Totino Grace yesterday. This is popped up left side. It's carrying a bit for Bruner. Right at the line, makes the catch. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. The Elks got the Tornadoes in order 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. Here in the top of the third, they return the favor as Chase Bauer sends the Elks 1-2-3 for the bottom third of their order. And we go to the bottom of the third, 2.5 here at Castle Field. 5-1, Elk River leading Anoka.
The best way to learn about local government is to see it in action. No fooling. On April 1st, local homeschooled children took a tour of Ramsey's City Hall, police and fire departments, and public works buildings. There, they received an up-close look at the systems that decide where businesses are built, how water is transported from deep underground all the way to their faucets at home, and the different tools police officers use to assist during an emergency. Several highlights of the day included trying on the protective gear utilized by the police department and exploring the big machines that plow snow, move dirt, and much more. These tours aren't just limited to school groups. If you'd like a closer look at how Ramsey functions, you're welcome to attend City Council and Advisory Board meetings and arrange a tour of your own. Feel free to give the city a call at 763-427-1410.
Mix of clouds and sun, mostly cloudy for the most part here at Castle Field. Elks 5, Tornadoes 1. Bottom of the third inning for Anoka. Anoka in the midst of a 4-game week. The Elks had 2 games postponed yesterday, or last week we should say. Andover and Osseo. Anoka had 1 game postponed last week. But the Tornadoes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday this week, including a game at Andover on Friday that we'll also have here on QCTV. Top of the order for the Tornadoes, Sam Poser, who was at shortstop, led off the bottom of the first with a base hit. Run scored. He scored the lone run of the game here for the Tornadoes, and he takes low, ball 1. The 1-0 in tight. 2 balls and no strikes. Poser had 2 stolen bases in the win yesterday against Totino Grace. 2-0 delivery, and it's on the inside corner at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's Poser, Bernard, and Rassett. Again, the Tornadoes started the last inning, first inning we should say, with back-to-back hits, including Poser and then Bernard. Another one in tight. Brushes Poser off the plate, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Elks with the all black and the red. 3-1. And that's a curve in the dirt, ball 4. Bounces away from Palm. Moot point here. Poser is on at first base. That's the first base on balls given up by Miles Hansen. He hit a batter. He hit Marshall Rashid back in the first inning. Rashid was then stranded. Both teams threatened for more in that first inning. And then Elk River did get more in the second inning. 4 runs second to make that score now 5-1. Here's Bernard stepping in. First pitch from Hansen is up and away, ball 1. Bernard singled, stranded at third back in the first inning. You got building traffic there on 7th Street, as you can see out beyond the outfield fence. That's low and in, 2 balls and no strikes. Hectic area of the metro here with all the construction along Highway 10. 2 balls, no strikes. Bernard taking all the way at the knees, 2-1. Decent crowd on hand here today. Game time temperature was 60 degrees. Still a little bit of a breeze, making it a little bit on the cool side at times. No eclipse to have to deal with here today. Pitch over to first. 2 balls, 1 strike. Johnson's the first baseman. He's on the bag there with Poser getting his lead in the 2-1 on the outside corner. 2-2. Again, Hansen more of a slider than a curve. He's got some pretty tight break on that. Every now and then it'll sweep a little further. 2-2. To the belt. Up tight, runner goes. Here's the throw. It's a strong one. It is in time for the out. Nice strong throw from the catcher, Palm. Experienced catcher behind the plate. Always something that is a big time commodity. And he threw a strike to get Poser. First out of the inning. Pitch was a ball, fills the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Bernard. Ball 4. So Bernard on at first. Again, if you're the Tornadoes, you're kicking himself there because, you end up being walk could have been first and second if he doesn't go there. But still trying to be aggressive. You know what they're trying to do is be aggressive. That's something that Shannon Blansett teams have always been on the base paths. Here in his tenure, in his 11th season, this one's on the ground through the hole and into left field for a hit. Marcel Rashid on his first pitch that he saw. Rashid hits it into left field. So Marshall Rashid on at first, Bernard's at second. Third hit of the game for the Tornadoes. First and second for the cleanup hitter, Evan Frecking. Like I said, under Shannon, they have always been aggressive. Squeeze play, suicide squeeze, safety squeeze, moving the runners up. First and second, 1 out. Frecking on his first pitch he saw the game. Lined it on a rope to the center fielder bunker. One of those atom balls, and he takes here, ducks out of the way, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Anoka trying to chip away, trailing at 5-1. Swing and a miss. That one had good downward break. And Frecking, 1 ball, 1 strike here to Evan. Fantastic wide receiver and defensive back for the football team. But that's where the injury occurred, and unable to pitch or throw. He's going to be DHing. Pulls this one out in front on the changeup, just wide of Coach Blansett down there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frecking again last year, a homer, 17 runs batted in. .303 average, 20 hits and 66 at bats a year ago for the section champs. 1-2 pitch, Hansen up high and in. 2-2. Frecking, by the way, we're talking about how well he hit that ball right on a line, ended up being a sacrifice fly. Picking up his first RBI of the season. He was 2 for 3 yesterday at Totino. 2-2 in. 3-2 with Cherry on deck. Hansen trying not to load the bases here with a base on balls. He has 1 out. Infield playing at Double play depth. 3-2. Swung on a miss on the slider. Big strikeout. Runners move up, but Frecking goes down. The cleanup hitter, huge out here for Hansen, 2 down. So Bernard at third. Rassett goes to second. Runners advance, but now 2 down. Third strikeout of the game for Miles Hansen. And that'll leave it up to the Tornadoes' Braden Cherry. Batting in the number 5 spot, struck out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1 and takes a strike here. Cherry last year hit 118 and 17 at bats. Did chip in 3 runs batted in. 1 strike. Almost hit him. Just barely got out of the way. 1-1. One from Hansen, up and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Anoka looking for a clutch hit. Could get a couple here. Base hit out to the outfield. Could cut this to a 5-3 game, trailing at 5-1 in the bottom of the third. Two 2-1 pitch, breaking ball, pulled foul, 2-2. Mentioned Hansen getting the season opening start. Their number 2 starter will be Brett Grebner. In their next game on Thursday, they go to Coon Rapids. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Popped up. Right side. Catcher Palm, will he have room? No. Just barely, just shy of the overhang in the canopy here. That netting that connects the canopy to the backstop is where that one landed. And life continues here for Braden Cherry. Trying to pick up at least 1, maybe 2 here. Hansen the set, holds, pitches 2-2 on the outside corner, got him looking. Cherry down looking, back-to-back strikeouts here for Hansen. He now has 4 for the game, and the Tornadoes threaten, but they come up empty here in the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on with the 2 strikeouts there of Frecking and Cherry. As we move to the fourth, we played 3. Still 5-1 Elks on QCTV Sports.
The Anoka Area Chamber of Commerce has been a staple of the cities of Andover, Anoka, Champlin, Coon Rapids, now then Oak Grove, Ramsey, and St. Francis for over 70 years. The Chamber is an invaluable resource for the business community and helps local businesses and business owners connect with their residents, enhance their credibility within the community, and build connections with other businesses. With your Chamber membership, you'll be able to attend networking events, submit articles to the Chamber magazine, be featured on QCTV's monthly program, The Chamber Report, and receive special discounts available only to Chamber members. To join the Chamber, fill out the application form on www.anokaareachamber.com and mail it to mail@anokaareachamber.com or to the Anoka Area Chamber of Commerce at 12 Bridge Square, Anoka, Minnesota, 55303.
You can see the big batter's eye out there, according to Shannon Blansett and assistant coach Pete Hayes. They got a new screen on the bottom half of the big old batter's eye out there. Critical part of the ball game here for the hitters as we move to the fourth inning, top of the fourth here for the Elk River Elks. Enjoying a nice 5-1 lead. There you get a look at it.
Leading off for the Elks in the top of the fourth inning, the catcher,
Key
Andrew
component.
Paul.
I know when I played baseball back in the day and in the Great River Conference, I don't think any of our ballparks had batter's eyes. You just hope there were some trees back there. And, of course, if you're the Twins, you're complaining about trees and having them cut down. So we go to the top of the order. Andrew Palm, Grebner, and Stockman. First pitch a ball, second one is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Palm's had a, nice game here today. A triple, a double, 2 runs batted in, couple runs scored. Not bad for the leadoff man who's a catcher. And that's low. 2-1. You don't see a lot of leadoff batters as catchers. Probably more so in high school, Legion, some of the lower levels. Certainly Major League Baseball, that's been pretty rare. Bauer did it some, of course. On the outside corner, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 4 hits here for the Elks with 5 runs. The top of their order batting. 2-2 with the Bauer pitch. Swung on in the dirt. Seaman will have to make a play over to first, and he throws a strike, 1 out. Chase has been piling up the strikeouts here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the last 6. 4 strikeouts in the last 6 outs. And if you go back to the second inning with that RBI ground out, he's retired 7 in a row. For Chase Bauer here, Brett Grebner now. Grounded out to first. Reached on an air, scored a run. And takes the pitch here, ball 1, 1-0. Mentioned Grebner is going to be their number 2 pitcher here this week. 1-0 off the end of the bat. Ooh, he hits it well. It'll slice its way into center field. Moving over to his right is Bernard, and Grebner is on with his first hit of the game. Hit number 6 here for the Elks.
Hitter, Sam Stockman.
And now Sam Stockman, who has a hit and was hit. The senior DH. Coach Shannon Blanset was talking before the game. I was going, it was strange playing a game where they're not facing Sam Stockman. As the throw over to first, and Rassett holding with Grebner. Stockman had been the starting pitcher against Anoka each of the last 2 meetings. Target Field 2 years ago. That was a 1-0 Anoka win. Then at Elk River last year. This one's hit well to right. And this one is going to be caught. Bernard chases it down. Stockman hit that pretty well, but it was kind of towards off the end of the bat. Didn't quite carry, and again, it's early April. Ball's not going to carry that well either. And when he first swung and hit that one, I thought it was going to be deeper than it ended up. But Bernard makes the catch. Stockman out. 2 down. Grebner stays at first. And the cleanup hitter, Miles Hansen, will step up. First pitch, breaking ball. Misses low, ball 1. Hansen, a walk and an RBI ground out. His first RBI of the season. Of course, everything is a first here for the Elk River Elks in their first game of the season. Rassett holding it first. Grebner getting his lead. Chase Bauer working in his 4th inning with 2 down. Trying to keep it 5-1. Here's his pitch, bounced foul. Nice play there by Coach Josh Jutinen, who was not too shabby in his day at Elk River High School. 2004 graduate, all-state, all-metro, all-conference. Played at Hamlin for a season, 3 seasons at Bemidji State. And made a slick fielding play over there at third. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Toss to first, and diving back, Grebner. Couple of looks by Bauer here. Breaking ball, runner goes. Throw by Seaman is going to bounce into center. Grebner was safe there. He's going to try and extend it to third, and he does. So Grebner, a stolen base. He'll go to third on the air. That's the 4th error here charged to the Tornadoes today. And just that one hopper. And it sneaks past Cherry, the second baseman who's covering there. And that gets a runner at third. Grebner from first all the way around to third here, 90 feet away. Elk River trying to add to their lead. Nice stop there by Seaman, just reaching out, needing every inch of that glove to keep that one from going to the backstop and scoring Grebner from third. We'll update the count here. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Popped up right side, out of play. It'll continue at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, Castle Field here will be a busy place throughout the spring season. Then you get into Summer Legion and the Bucks and tournaments, of course. Tornadoes have got a few night games planned here this year in the spring high school season. 2-2 with 2 outs. Breaking ball pulled the string, and Hansen out in front and over the top. He goes down swinging, 3rd out of the inning. 5th strikeout of the game for Chase Bauer, and he strands Grebner at 3rd. Elk River going scoreless in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits. 1 hit, excuse me. There was the 1 error and 1 left on. 3.5 Castle Field in Anoka. 5-1 Elk River here on QCTV Sports.
Hi, my name is Denise Devine, and I'm a local author. I live in East Bethel, Minnesota. The book I read, The Bootlegger's Wife, takes place in St. Paul in the 1920s, and it takes place in a house that actually exists on Laurel Avenue. The reason that I wrote this book was because I grew up listening to my grandma talk about the 20s and all the different things that happened to her through that time. Every time I'd go over to the house in St. Paul, I would look around at all the stained glass windows and all the different things and think, I got to write a book about this house. And so that's how this idea was born. I now have 3 books, and I'm working on book 4. My book is online on Amazon. I do a lot of personal appearances around the state. It's also an audiobook, which is in libraries and online.
Trying to chip away. It was 1-1 after 1. Tornadoes scored 1 in the bottom of the 1st, but they've gone scoreless here since. Hunter Bruner, 6-7-8 in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Tornadoes. Bruner 0 for 1, grounded to first in the 1st inning. 2nd at bat of the game. First pitch is that slider from Hansen, 1 strike. Bruner, no varsity at bats last year. He's one of the new guys, one of the young guys that'll have to pick up the slack and then learn on the job as the season goes. Pitch is low, 1 ball and 1 strike. One on the ground sharply. Second baseman Van Drale from his knees. He throws him out. What a play. Van Drale dove, got to his knees, and throws it over to Johnson at first. A real web gem here. First one of the season. Great range. He had to then throw against the motion of his body with his momentum going the other way towards the second base bag. Still enough to get Bruner. And the first out of the inning. Tatkenhorst now here for the Tornadoes. Left-handed swinging 3rd baseman. One of the young sophomores also getting the call up here to varsity, and he takes ball 1. Hits it the other way. Pretty well hit. Herzog on the run. It's going to be over his head. That hits the fence on the fly. Wow. Tatkenhorst goes opposite field off the end of the bat, and then a big old fist pump for his first varsity hit. And it's a double on the fly off the chain link fence in deep left center field. That might be as excited as I've ever seen a kid for his first varsity hit. He was pumped. And he has shed his padding, his brace, whatever that thing is. I used to wear one of those when I bowled. So Tatkenhorst is over at second, and the batter is Trevor Lang, and he takes 1 strike. Lang struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning, one of 4 strikeouts here for Miles Hansen. Runner at second with 1 down and the 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Hansen. 0-2. Parker Seaman, the catcher, number 9 hitter on deck. 5-1 Tornadoes trail. Tatkenhorst gets his lead. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 3-pitch strikeout. That's exactly what he did to Lang back in the second inning. Good morning, good afternoon, good night at bat.
The catcher, Parker Seaman.
Second out of the inning, 5th strikeout for Hansen. Mixing his pitches too. Fastball, curve, changeup. Actually, it's a slider, as we mentioned before. He's more slider than curve. And the batter, Parker Seaman, the catcher. And he'll look at ball 1. And of course, sometimes they'll call it a slurve. Call that a sweeper now, which I'm not a big fan of that term. Sweeper's the guy that shows up after closing to sweep the floor. 1-0 pitch. This one, wonderful break on that one. He sneaks it on the inside corner. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 with 2 down. Hansen has settled in here a bit. Another breaking ball and a check swing, but it's 2-1. Did not offer and did not go around. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. Elks have out hit Anoka here 5-4. Runner at second. On the ground sharply to short, Grebner gobbles it up, tossed to first. Seaman retired, as are the Tornadoes in the bottom of the 4th inning. They get a hit, they leave 1, but they come up empty, and it's still 5-1. Elk River here from Anoka on QCTV Sports. Played 4 innings. We go to the 5th. And Anoka's made a change.
Number 13, Marshall Rassett.
Marshall Rassett is now pitching. And Chase Bauer has moved to first. So just a flip-flop, first and pitcher. As Rassett will face 5, 6, and 7 here in the Elk River order. And the Elk River half of the 5th. Riley, Bunker, and Van Drale. So Bauer went 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned, 5 hits, struck out 5, walked 2. Also hit a batter in his first start of the season. Now we'll see Marshall Rassett for the first time here this season. Nedlin and Cherry were the 2 pitchers yesterday. Nedlin got the win and Cherry the save at Totino Grace. And here Rassett against Riley. Riley a strikeout and a pop out to the second baseman Cherry against Bauer. And Rassett starts it with off-speed breaking ball and way out in front. Riley 1 strike. 0-1. In the air, right side towards the batting cages and foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Rassett did not pitch last year. Making his debut here on the mound for the varsity here this evening. Over the top, misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Anoka graduated their top 2 starters last year. Mason Holheisel, 39 1/3 innings. Lewis Hertling, 44 2/3 innings last year. 1 ball, 2 strikes up high. Now 2-2. Riley hit .220 last year for the Elks. 3rd place in Section 8 4A. And a definite contender, if not the favorite this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, over the top, misses on the breaking ball. Fills the count, 3-2. Rassett, one of those seniors that will have to provide leadership for this young Anoka team, popped up foul territory beyond first base, down the line, and stumbling attempt there was Bauer, but he can't make the catch. Got turned around and then stumbled. Looked like he got his glove on it. So Riley with some new life here, and the at bat will roll along. The count will roll along. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rassett to the plate. This one's hit in the center for a hit. 1 hopper in front of Bernard. So Riley greets Rassett with a base hit. 6th hit of the game for Elk River. Leadoff man is on for Logan Bunker.
The center fielder,
Bunker reached in an air,
Bunker.
struck out looking, 0 for 2 today. Bunker playing out center field here for the Elks. Clouds have actually decreased quite a bit out center. A lot more blue sky. The most blue sky we've seen all afternoon long here, now into the evening hours. Yeah, the first offering, he swings and misses. Home plate umpire here today is Ryan Belfi. Says he went around. 1 strike here to Logan Bunker. Out beyond center field, there's more blue sky, but the clouds are still shrouding the sunshine here this afternoon and now evening. 1 strike. Rassett with that set below the belt to throw to first. And if that throw isn't high, they got him. But the throw from Rassett was high. Bauer had to go up and get it and come down. And that allowed the runner at first, Riley, to slide in. So Riley still at first. Rassett ready with the 1 strike. Throw again over to first. And Riley this time managing his P's and Q's over there. Not a real big lead. They're just keeping tabs on him that time after almost. And he probably knows he would have been out if that throw would have been lower and a better throw over there. So he's not going to risk it. Minimal lead over there right now. The 1 strike pitch to the plate low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The fans down the third base line, left field line, enjoying the sunshine there. Rassett started the 5th inning in relief of Chase Bauer. 1-1 pitch, foul tip, 1-2. Mentioned Anoka and scheduled night games here at Castle Field. The first one will be against the Princeton Tigers, May 10th at 7 o'clock. Toss over to first again, not a big lead there by Riley. And then their other 2 regular scheduled night games. They've got Forest Lake here and actually at Monticello at 7 o'clock. Regular season finale May 23rd. This one high, 2-2. Monticello's put in a nice little grandstand. It's smaller than this one and a little bit smaller, closer to Champlin Park's grandstand that they put in. But they did not put in a press box because they already had one down the first base line. So that's one of the differences, but it's a similar design, similar setup with the canopy, and a very nice setup there just off of I-94. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rassett to the plate, fouled back. And with a fastball, and Bunker fouled it back, and it's 2-2. Rassett trying to keep this game 5-1, give his team a chance to chip away. Tornadoes still have 3 at-bats left in this game as we're in the top of the 5th. Still plenty of time. They just haven't been able to muster much since the early innings. This one inside out swing to second, slow roller. Boy, the grass really dug that up, and a great attempt by Cherry, the old shovel with the glove, and it just missed getting bunker. You don't see a lot of high school kids do that at this level. You see it regularly in the major leagues, of course. But Cherry, that was really the only play he did. The shovel toss from the glove to his first baseman, Bauer. And bunker was safe. Tell you what, that infield grass absolutely ate up that slow roller from bunker. That's a base hit. Back-to-back hits. Riley is at second. Bunker's at first. And the pitch is low in the dirt to Van Drale, who steps up here. Fielder's choice and a strikeout looking. 0 for 2 today. Van Drale had a really good junior season for the Elks. 307, 13 runs batted in, and 11 stolen bases. 1-0 is the count to him here, and Rassett wants to step off. He'll call time. Seaman comes out from behind the plate to have a chat. Critical juncture here for the Tornadoes, down 5-1. Elk River a run in the first. Then their big inning was the second inning. They scored 4 runs, a 2-run double by Palm, RBI single by Stockman, RBI ground out off the bat of Hansen. Knocked the runs in here, and those runs are the big difference here right now on a 5-1 score. Called strike, 1-1. Johnson due up next for Elk River. Mentioned Anoka with a 4-game week, just a 2-game week this week for Elk River. They'll be at Coon Rapids on Thursday and then not play again after that until a week from today. 1-1 offering, up and in. Van Drale spins away, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Sun now coming out. You can see the shadows there on our home plate camera. Foul back on the 2-1. That'll even things up here at 2 balls and 1 strike. First baseman Bauer in front of the runner at first with it first and second. Nobody out. Ooh, just missed. Took something off. And Seaman held it there as well. He didn't even frame it. Didn't even bring it in. He held it right there at the end, and it just missed. Outside, full count, 3-2. And the pitch to Van Drale. Up high, ball 4. That'll load him up. So 2 singles and now a base on balls. That loads him up. First walk given up by Rassett.
First baseman Tim Johnson.
And now Tim Johnson will bat with the bases loaded here in the Elk River 5th. First pitch is a strike. Key here for Rassett, bases loaded. Infield in. They'll turn a double play in the middle. They've moved the middle infielders Poser and Cherry back. They'll give up the run here if they can turn 2. This one's hit to right field. Lang first came out. Now he comes in, still on the run, makes the catch. And it's shallow enough where the runner at third will not be able to tag and score. So a big hit there, big out by Rassett, getting Johnson on that shallow fly to right.
Right fielder Kyler Mussengren.
Lang, the right fielder. I think everybody here in the stadium also thought that was going to be deeper. That wind pushed that back in towards the infield. And Johnson retired, bases still loaded. Number 9 hitter Mussengren now for the Elks. 5-1 score. They're threatening to blow it open here, but a strike called by Mussengren. .250 average for Mussengren. 5 runs batted in last year. He has a single and a fly to center. 1 for 2 today. Runs scored. And it's 0-1. Bouncer to third. Third baseman in. Korkenhorst knocks it down. Dives to third. Did they get it out there? They did, yes. Run scores. It'll go as a fielder's choice. And the second out of the inning. So Riley comes in to score. You see the score there. We didn't get the play at third, possibly, but Riley scores, fielder's choice. No RBI.
Catcher Andrew Paul.
But now 6-1 Elk River. 2 down in the inning at top of the order to Andrew Palm. 2 hits here today and a strikeout. He's 2 for 3. And Rassett starts him out with that curveball. And Palm flexed the knees a little bit. Little flinch, and it's a called strike. 1 strike. Palm triple and a double. 2 runs batted in. Bats here first and second. Chance to add to the Elk River lead. It's now 6-1. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. So a run on a couple of hits. Fielder's choice here in the Elk River half of the 5th. Rassett, foul tip. Now 1-2. He's ahead of him. Rassett here now 1 pitch away from getting out of this, what was a bases loaded jam. And the bases loaded and nobody out. Got the fly out, the fielder's choice, and run scored on that. But considering where they were at, if he can get out of this here, get an out here, and just give up the 1 run, that would be a major victory here. Keep it 6-1. That's still a pretty big hole to try to climb out of. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Rassett to Palm. Checks the runners, comes to the plate, hit in the air to left field. On the run, Bruner. On the run, Bruner over his head. That'll bounce on the warning track all the way to the fence. That will drive in 2. And another big hit for Palm. 3 hits, now 4 runs batted into the season for the catcher, Andrew Palm. A double, a triple, and now another double. And it's 8-1 Elk River. Andrew Palm has started his season hot.
The shortstop.
Got into that one. It looked like Bruner might be able to track it down here from behind home plate, but over his head off of the warning track, and then one hopping onto that and off of that chain link fence out in left field. So that cleans the bases. 3 runs in here in the inning. And that adds their lead here at 8-1. And Grebner bats. Grebner reached on an error, grounded to first, singled his last at bat, stole a base. First pitch was a ball. This one's a strike. Fastball in the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stockman would bat next. 3 runs on 3 hits here this inning for the Elks. 1-1. Inside corner. Clip the black of the plate there. In on Grebner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two rip. That's in there for a hit. Down the line to right. Palm has rounded third, and he's in to score. 9-1 Elk River. Clutch hitting here for the Elks. 2-out, 2-run double by Andrew Palm, and now a 2-out run-scoring single by Brett Grebner. Gets an RBI. Second hit of the game. 9-1 score. It's a 3-run inning. Now 4-run inning here for the Elks in the 5th. Sam Stockman, 8th Elk to bat here this inning. First pitch swinging, loops this one out. That's going to be in for a hit. In the left center field, Bernard is there. Grebner holds at second. Stockman with his second hit of the game. 5 hits this inning. And 4 runs in.
Miles Hansen.
And now Miles Hansen, the 9th man to bat. Hansen, a walk, ground out with an RBI and a strikeout. Stockman's got a special base running brace that he wears. He's putting that on right now. Protect him from that injury that he had from football. Good thing those things are Velcro. First pitch, and it's a strike. The pitcher, Miles Hansen, who has been sitting in the dugout here in the 5th inning and has seen his team add to their lead and making his job a whole lot easier on the mound. 1 strike offering. That one bounced in front of the plate. That'll skip past the catcher Seaman all the way back to the backstop. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners move up. Grebner to third. Stockman is at second. Elks here in the top of the 5th inning. 9-1 lead. They've added 4 to their total. 1-1 from Rassett. Up and in. Hansen ducks out of the way. 2-1. Elks scored 1 in the first, 4 in the second, now 4 here in the 5th. To break the game open. They'd been threatening a couple of different times to do it, and here they did it in the 5th. 2-1 to Hansen. Popped up. Catcher Seaman. This is playable, and he makes the catch. Able to see that one all the way down into the mitt. But the Elks come up big. They send 9 to the plate here in the top of the 5th. 4 runs, 5 hits. No errors, and a couple of left on. Bottom of the 5th coming up. We played 4.5, and it's now the Elks 9 and the Tornadoes 1 on QCTV Sports.
Hi, this is Cole with Anoka County Ship, and I have a question for you. When was the last time you moved from your seat? Movement makes all the difference in living the healthiest life you can, especially if you're working from home or the office where you're probably sitting down all day. So whether it's getting up for a cup of coffee or walking over to check out the window, a little bit of movement can make a lot of difference for your health. So get up and get moving with Anoka County Ship every day at goanokacounty.org. Thanks.
The old 5th inning stretch here with Take Me Out to the Ball Game at Castle Field. Sunshiny skies. But so far here today, the sun has been shining mostly on the Elk River Elks. 9-1. They lead it here as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the order for the Tornadoes. Sam Poser, Clay Bernard, and Marshall Rassett are the new batters here for the Tornadoes.
Leading off for the Tornadoes in the bottom of the 5th inning, the shortstop, Sam Poser.
Poser today, single and a walk. Scored a run, scored the only run for the Tornadoes here today back in the 1st inning. He came in on that sacrifice line drive fly out to center field by Evan Frecking. And he'll take here strike 1. 1 strike to lead off the bottom of the 5th here for Anoka. Miles Hansen starting his 5th inning of work. Popped up straight back. That'll be out of play. And it's 0-2. Hansen settled down. He retired Anoka 1-2-3 in the 2nd. Gave up a single and a walk in the 3rd, but then struck out 2 to end the inning. A little chin music there on Poser as he's brushed back 1-2. And then Tatkenhorst had the double in the 4th. So just a scattering of hits here and opportunities since the 1st for the Anoka Tornadoes. Hansen to the plate. In the air on the right side of the infield, first baseman Johnson waits, makes the catch. 1 retired as Poser goes down.
Center fielder
Tornadoes will
Clay
bring up
Bernard.
Clay Bernard. Single and a walk. A run on 4 hits. 5 errors, though, here on Anoka here this afternoon. Pitch is up high, ball 1-0 to Bernard. And that's something that, like we said, Coach Shannon Blansett said, there are going to be some mistakes early on in the season by the young team. And I know the Tornadoes have had teams that have finished really strong and have had great postseasons and have had great finishes of the seasons. They've had seasons that have started slow with some young players, and they've kind of had to work through those growing pains. And this is going to be one of those seasons that they're going to have to do that. 1 ball and 2 strikes and a swing and a miss. 1-2 here to Bernard with Rassett on deck. Up and away, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rassett on deck with 1 out. Bases are empty. Hansen working quickly, throwing strikes on the ground and foul between the bag and Coach Blansett. And it'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two, and that misses. Didn't get Bernard to chase, so now the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The wind and the 3-2. Got him. 2 outs of the inning. Bernard goes down looking. 6th strikeout of the game for Hansen.
Pitcher Marshall Rassett.
And now Rassett, who is doing the pitching, started the game first base. Played the first 4 at first and then came in relief. Pitcher Chase Bauer. And a swing and a miss on the first pitch to Rassett. Rassett's been on both times here today, a hit by pitch and then a single. He has one of the 4 base hits for Anoka today. 1 strike, checks his swing, and it's a ball, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, base is empty. The Hansen pitch is outside, 2-1. Again, Hansen last year went 2-1. Pitched in 4 games, 18 innings pitched, 3 starts last year. 2-1, hit sharply, but again foul, wide of third. 2-2 here to Rassett. If he can extend the inning here, Evan Frecking would be due up next. Tornadoes would love to get somebody on for Frecking. 2-2 with 2 down. Just missed. Oh, that was close. Three balls, 2 strikes. We've got some activity in the Elk River bullpen. Bentley Casey off speed, and that just missed. Rassett flinched there, but it missed. So Rassett is on at first base with a 2-out walk. Just the 2nd walk given up in the game here by Miles Hansen. And that'll bring up Frecking. And looks like we'll get a runner over there for Anoka. That'll be
Jackson Provancha.
Jackson Provancha, senior reserve outfielder, will do some running. So Provancha is over at first, running for Rassett, who's now pitching. You can use a courtesy runner there in that department. Frecking spanked the ball to center in the line out in the first. He struck out in the 3rd. 0 for 1 officially with that sacrifice fly and his first RBI of the season. Frecking went 2 for 3 yesterday against Tino Grace. Rassett, Bruner, Bernard, and Jaeger all had hits as well. Jaeger had the lone RBI yesterday. And the 1-ball pitch, swing and a miss, throw down to first, and just diving in on the backside, Provancha. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike here to Evan Frecking. Logan Jaeger played at catcher yesterday, just a sophomore, and had that RBI, went 1 for 3. He's not in the lineup today. Toss again over to first, and a 1-1 count up and coming. Even though it's a 9-1 game, Hansen still keeping an eye. It's your first game of the season, your first chance to play outdoors. And kind of keep some of those skills sharp. You know, you go in a 9-1 game while you paying attention to the runner at first as much, and it's 2 outs here in the inning, but you got to know that that's just a focus here, just baseball things. Do regular baseball things regardless of the situation and the status of the game, and that's what Hansen is doing there as he offers 2-1, and it's now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Evan Frecking. Guy caught a lot of footballs the last few years for Anoka. Over at the Goodrich Field, throw over to first, and again, Provancha gets back in. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2-2. Cherry would bat here if Frecking can extend this Anoka half of the 5th. 2-2. And good eye there by Frecking. Now 3-2. Toss over to first. And the Elks did have Bentley Casey, senior, who had been working in the bullpen. He has since made his way back to the dugout. I would assume that he would be ready if they want to make a change, as Hansen misses that one down low and away. And that's back-to-back walks. Provancha to second, Frecking to first. Just the second and third walks in the game here for Miles Hansen. Again, in a 9-1 game, the Elks are going to let Miles Hansen try to work through this here in the 5th inning. Mentioned Braden Cherry steps up here, couple of strikeouts, throw to the bag at second. That's going to slide into center field, and Provancha will go to third. Just the first error charged Elk River, so they have 10 hits in the game, and the one thing we haven't mentioned is that they've been very solid out in the field, and that one there, just the throw from Hansen, was out of the reach of Grebner, the shortstop, covering. And here comes head coach Josh Jutenden out of the dugout to have a chat with Miles Hansen. Runners will be at the corners, first and third, with Braden Cherry still awaiting his first pitch of the game. So the upcoming schedule for Anoka tomorrow, actually Thursday off tomorrow. They have a full 4-day week here to get the season after having 2 games postponed last week. At Andover on Friday after they play at Robbinsdale Cooper on Thursday. And then next week, Spring Lake Park, Blaine, and Roseville. That's a 3-game week next week. That Roseville game is on Saturday at Roseville, a 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon game. And the first pitch here to Cherry is a strike. 1 strike. Frecking at first, Provancha, the courtesy runner at third. 1 strike pitch on the outside corner on the change. 0-2. So that chat by Coach Jutenden has done wonders here for Miles Hansen. 2 down, 2 strikes. Pitch to Cherry. Missed. This one a little bit lower than the previous 2. And it's 1-2. And again, Cherry's been a strikeout victim twice. Once swinging, once looking. 1-2 pitch. Missed it inside. Tried that breaking ball that sneaks over the inside part of the plate. That one stayed outside. And it's 2-2. 2-2 with 2 down. Elk River a 9-1 cushion here for their starting pitcher, Miles Hansen. Delivers, swing, and a miss. Foul tip into the glove of Palm, and he holds on. And Cherry is down swinging, and that's all for Anoka here in the bottom of the 5th. They threaten, but they come up empty with a couple of walks. They leave 2 on. We played 5 innings full here at Anoka. 9-1 Elk River over the Tornadoes here on QCTV Sports.
The best way to learn about local government is to see it in action. No fooling. On April 1st, local homeschooled children took a tour of Ramsey's City Hall, police and fire departments, and public works buildings. There, they received an up-close look at the systems that decide where businesses are built, how water is transported from deep underground all the way to their faucets at home, and the different tools police officers use to assist during an emergency. Several highlights of the day included trying on the protective gear utilized by the police department and exploring the big machines that plow snow, move dirt, and much more. These tours aren't just limited to school groups. If you'd like a closer look at how Ramsey functions, you're welcome to attend City Council and Advisory Board meetings and arrange a tour of your own. Feel free to give the city a call at 763-427-1410.
Sun has been dominating here the last couple of innings at Castle Field, as you can see on your QCTV screen and off the QCTV cameras here today. Big thanks to our crew and Ryan for setting us up here today. Our first spring sports broadcast, always a fun one. But right now here for the Anoka Tornadoes, the visiting Elk River Elks spoiling their home opener as we go to the top of the 6th inning. TJ Riley is the leadoff batter here. Fly out, strikeout, single, and a run scored. Elk River batted all 9. Sent 9 to the plate back in the 5th inning. Pitches up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Marshall Rassett starting his 2nd inning of pitching. Got a new second baseman here for the Tornadoes as well. Did you say it was Tyler Pachta? Tyler Pachta is the new second baseman. Meanwhile, the count's 2 balls and 1 strike to Riley. Riley, Bunker, Van Drale here for the Elks, enjoying a 9-1 lead, and a called strike there evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Elk River 1 in the 1st. And then a pair of 4-run innings here today. The old crooked letters. This one is hit in the air to left. Bruner drifting in, fighting the sun a little bit. He's got the shades, and he makes the catch. 1 out with Riley retired and Logan Bunker.
Center fielder Logan Bunker.
Bunker reaching in air, struck out looking, singled, scored a run his last at bat. .235 hitter from a year ago. First pitch swinging to the gap. On the run is Bruner, and he can't make the diving catch. Backing up the play is Bernard. It'll be a double. Bunker has himself here a double. He gets into the hit parade, hit number 11 here today for Elk River.
Second baseman Owen Van Drale.
And that's at least their 4th extra base hit. Palm has 3 extra base hits, triple and 2 doubles. And that looks to be everything else after that has been a single. So a Bunker with an extra base hit, 4th of the game for the Elks. And Owen Van Drale will step up. 1 down, top of the 6th. Van Drale looking for his first hit of the game. And he'll take inside and tight. Ball 1. Van Drale, fielder's choice. Went down looking and then walked, scored a run in the 4-run 5th. Elks had 5 hits in that 4-run 5th inning. 1 ball, no strikes. Slow breaking ball. Stays outside, 2-0. Runner at second, Bunker gets the lead. Shortstop Poser behind him. 3 balls and no strikes. Wind basically blowing from the south here at Anoka today. There's an American flag out on the other side of 7th Street. 3-0 strike, taking all the way Van Drale. Now 3-1. So the couple of times we've seen fly balls hit out to right field, the wind definitely affected and pushed it back in towards the infield. 3-1 offering, swing and a miss. Rassett blew that one by him, and it's 3-2. Tim Johnson, I've seen him on one roster as Timothy. Last year on the stat sheet, it was Timmy. 3-2, popped up right side. First baseman Bauer towards the dugout, and it'll be in the dugout. 3-2. And it is Tim Johnson. Tim's a senior now. He'll transition from being Timmy to Tim. I made the transition from Jimmy to Jim back in 4th grade. That's when I thought I was a man. 3-2 over the top, popped up again. Seaman's got a chance, and he catches it. Popped up here off the bat of Van Drale. And that's twice now that Seaman has done a nice job locating that ball. Those are not easy. To locate that ball, discard that mask and helmet. And he did a really nice job for the second out of the inning.
Johnson is number 9, Logan Whitson.
And made the big deal about Tim Johnson's name, and he's not even going to bat here. It'll be Logan Bitson. His first plate appearance of the season. And he'll take it low in the dirt. Seaman knocked it down, ball 1. Here to Bitson. Bitson does not appear on last year's stat sheet. So Bitson making his varsity debut here for the Elks, batting for Tim Johnson. 1 ball, no strikes, hits it in the air. This is center field. Bernard drifting towards left center, makes the catch, 3rd out of the inning, and the Elks are down in the 6th. Here in the top of the 6th, no runs, a hit, and they leave one. Bottom of the 6th coming up, 9-1 Elk River on QCTV Sports.
Chamber of Commerce has been a staple of the cities of Andover, Anoka, Champlin, Coon Rapids, now then Oak Grove, Ramsey, and St. Francis for over 70 years. The Chamber is an invaluable resource for the business community and helps local businesses and business owners connect with their residents, enhance their credibility within the community, and build connections with other businesses. With your Chamber membership, you'll be able to attend networking events, submit articles to the Chamber magazine, be featured on QCTV's monthly program, The Chamber Report, and receive special discounts available only to Chamber members. To join the Chamber, fill out the application form on www.anokaareachamber.com and mail it to mail@anokaareachamber.com or to the Anoka Area Chamber of Commerce at 12 Bridge Square, Anoka, Minnesota, 55303.
Four hits, struck out 7, walked 3. So a solid opening season start here for Hansen, giving up just the 1 run in the 5 innings. And Anoka will have Hunter Bruner, first man that Bentley Casey will face. And the first pitch from him is ball 1, 1-0. Bruner put out, grounder out to first base, and a grounder to second. He's hit it on the ground on the right side in the infield both times here for the left-handed swinging third baseman. Or excuse me, left fielder. Third baseman Tatkenhorst is on deck. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes. Bentley Casey did not pitch last year for the Elks, so he's making his varsity debut, and he starts his varsity career with a 4-pitch walk. He walks Bruner here on 4.
Third baseman Ryan Tatkenhorst.
And that'll bring Tatkenhorst to the plate, grounded to second and doubled. his first varsity base hit. Hit it the other way. One hop the fence. And then a congratulatory, celebratory fist pump at second base. And he'll take a strike here, one strike. Lang on deck, runner on, nobody out. Anoka batting in the bottom of the sixth. Fouled back off the end of the bat, and it's 0-2. Tornadoes down 9-1, running out of outs and innings here to try and rally today. Tim Johnson, who has re-entered after being pinch hit for. There's a swing and a miss. He's back at first base. And Tatkenhorst goes down on 3 pitches. Swings and misses on the 0-2. First varsity strikeout here for Bentley Casey. One out. Bruner's still at first. Right fielder Trevor Lang. Pitches here does Casey, and swinging does Lang. And he fouls back off the equipment, either the catcher or the home plate umpire. It's one strike. Lang has struck out twice, 0 for 2. Swing and a miss there. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here to Lang with Seaman on deck. Got the breaking ball across on 0-2. 2 down.
The catcher, Parker Seaman.
Nice little placement on the inside part. That's a tough pitch for Lang to swing at. He's already kind of crowding the plate just a little bit. And now here's Seaman, who gets into one, and that'll be down for a hit. In between the line and the left fielder Herzog, he'll make the play there. And Seaman on a pitch picks up his first base hit, his first varsity hit. And that'll get Bruner to second. First and second, 2 down, top of the order here for the Anoka Tornadoes. And we'll get a runner over at first
Devin
for
Lucas,
the catcher.
The courtesy runner for the catcher, Seaman at first base.
Devin Lucas will be the runner over there, courtesy runner, with Seaman getting on here. Seaman had gone 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out.
And at the plate, pinch hitting for Sam Poser, the shortstop, number 5, Mason Conan.
We're going to get a pinch hitter for Anoka as well for Sam Poser. And the first pitch is a strike. Mason Conan, the pinch hitter here at the top of the order. First pitch a strike. Second one, that one sweeper in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Conan, a sophomore, getting a chance to bat. Poser, a single to lead off the game in the first, bottom of the first for Anoka. And then he had walked. He was 1 for 2 and had scored the only run of the game here for the Tornadoes. 2 balls and 1 strike to Conan. And it misses 2-2, or excuse me, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Conan also making his varsity debut. And in his first plate appearance, he gets the base on balls. And that's going to load the bases up here
Center
for
fielder,
the Tornadoes.
Clay Bernard.
Bruner to third. Lucas goes to second, and Conan's at first base for Clay Bernard. Single walk, strikeout. Well, Tornadoes here threatening to chip in on that 9-1 deficit. And then Casey delivers here to Bernard, strike 1. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Elk River in the top of the 7th will have their number 9 hitter Mosengren to lead off. Count even here at 1-1. Casey to the plate. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, if Casey steps to the plate later on as a hitter, he'll be Casey at the plate or at bat. The at the bat. Who says that, though? That's the name of the poem, Casey at the bat. That, I don't know if I've ever uttered that in a broadcast. Might have to now. 2-2. Pitch is low and in. And now 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. The Tornadoes batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to get that 1 off the board. Trying to get a crooked number up there. And it's ball 4, and they'll do that here. And that'll drive in a run. So Bernard draws the walk. Conan to second. Lucas to third. Bruner comes in to score. Bernard gets an RBI and the bases loaded walk. And it's now 9-2.
Number 26, Logan Jager, pinch hitting for the pitcher, Marshall Rassett.
3 walks here this inning. He walked the bases loaded. It was a walk, single, then the walk to Conan. Now the walk here to Bernard will score the run. And we're getting another pinch hitter here for Anoka, for Marshall Rassett, who is still listed as the pitcher here as of this point for Anoka. Logan Jager was the catcher and had the lone RBI in the win yesterday at Ticino Grace. He went 1 for 3. Is pinch hitting here for Rassett. And it's up and in here to Jager. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jager also did not log any time last year. Made his varsity debut yesterday and takes up and away outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sun going back behind the clouds once again. We've had majority of sun here the last 3 innings or so after starting overcast. And the 2-1's a called strike, 2-2. Bentley Casey in relief of Miles Hansen, who pitched 5 solid innings, giving up just the 1 run on 4 hits. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on the ground, right up through the wickets, and a diving play by Grebner at short, but everybody's going to be safe. And a run will score. It'll be station to station here. Bases will remain open. That makes it 9-3. That'll be an infield hit for Jager. 2nd hit of the season, and an RBI, 2nd RBI of the season after getting it yesterday. Everybody moves up. Conan to 3rd, Bernard to 2nd. Jager's at 1st, and now Evan Frecking. First pitch, swinging little blooper caught by Grebner at short. So Frecking retired, but Anoka sends 8 to the plate. They get a couple to chisel into that 9-1 lead. They get 2 runs here this inning, 2 runs on a couple of hits. They were helped out by some walks here as well, but 2 runs, 2 hits. That RBI base hit by Jager certainly worked out. No errors in the inning, and they end up leaving the bases loaded. We move on to the 7th inning. It's 9-3 Elk River here at Castle Field on QCTV Sports.
Hi, my name is Denise Devine, and I'm a local author. I live in East Bethel, Minnesota. The book I read, The Bootlegger's Wife, takes place in St. Paul in the 1920s, and it takes place in a house that actually exists on Laurel Avenue. The reason that I wrote this book was because I grew up listening to my grandma talk about the 20s and all the different things that happened to her through that time. Every time I'd go over to the house in St. Paul, I would look around at all the stained glass windows and all the different things and think, I gotta write a book about this house. And so that's how this idea was born. I now have 3 books, and I'm working on book 4. My book is online on Amazon. I do a lot of personal appearances around the state. It's also an audiobook, which is in libraries and online.
Kyler Bossengren, the leadoff batter. We go to the 7th inning here. Elks a 9-3 lead here on the Tornadoes. First pitch, a ball. Marshall Rassett starting his 3rd inning in relief of Chase Bauer, who started and is the pitcher of record as of right now. He gave up the first 5 runs. Rassett gave up 4 in the last couple of innings. And he has started out Bossengren here, 1 ball and 1 strike. Outside, 2-1. Spring baseball and softball season just so short. Barely get going in April here. Breaking ball up and in, 3-1. You know, by the time you get to April 13th, I should say April 23rd, that's just 2 weeks from today. Then you only have a month left in the regular season, because the last games of the season for both these teams, May 23rd. And a 3-1 swing and a miss. Big cut there by Mossengren. It's 3-2. Mossengren a single, his first at bat, scored a run, flied to center, and is involved in a fielder's choice. Takes this one in the air to left field. Bruner, a couple of steps back, and he makes the catch. Mossengren is retired, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. And here's Andrew Palm.
The catcher, Andrew Palm.
Palm has been the offensive star here. He has 4 runs batted in, a triple and 2 doubles. 3 for 4 today. Bats with the bases empty. Fouls this one off the handle. And back to the backstop. 1 strike here to Palm. So wonderful senior season debut for catcher Andrew Palm. 1 strike to him from Rassett is up high above the letters. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one's right at the belt and on the outer half. 1-2. Anoka in the bottom of the 7th will have Cherry, Bruner, and Tatkenhorst. Their due batters. 1-2 pitch up high, 2-2. Only meeting this season here for these two teams. 2-2 delivery. Got him in off the handle, but he got that bat head around and still hits it to medium deep center field. And Bernard waits for it, 2 down. Palm's got some pretty good pop in his bat. That pitch from up here looked like it was kind of in on his hands a little bit, but he was still able to get that bat head around the barrel and still get it out to medium deep left center field. So now with 2 down and nobody on, Brett Grebner reached in an air. In fact, he's done that twice. He's reached in an air twice. Actually, he singled and then was involved in an air that allowed him to go to third on a stolen base. He has a couple of hits. 2 for 4 runs scored here this evening. And the pitch to him. In the air, right side in the infield. Pakta coming in, and the shortstop Poser calling him off at the last moment. And Poser ended up catching. Pakta's going, hey, I wanted that one. But regardless, the Tornadoes can celebrate because they did register the out. You see here almost a collision. Pitcher gets out of the way. Second baseman and shortstop. Close quarters. Got a little closer than they wanted to there, but it is the final out of the inning as the Elks are retired. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Still 9-3 Elks here on QCTV Sports.
Hi, I am Rachel Jorgensen, and I'm the author of this book, Supporting Your Child with Special Needs, 50 Fundamental Tools for Families. And if you know anyone or you yourself are raising a child with special needs of any kind, I have been a special educator for 20 years, almost 20 years. And so I wrote this book to help families navigate the special education system, to help them intervene with their child at home to support growth, and then finally to connect with themselves and to prevent their own burnout as they're raising their child.
Last chance here for the Tornadoes. They did pick up a couple of runs back in the 6th.
Leading off for the Anoka
But still trail it here by
Tornadoes,
6,
bottom of the
9-3
Second baseman Tyler
in the
Pakta.
7th inning. And the new second baseman, Tyler Pakta. First pitch swinging on the ground to short. Grebner retires Pakta, one down. One pitch, one out. Here's Casey starting his second inning of work. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Anoka, Devin Lucas.
Devin Lucas.
He's going to hit for
the
Bruner.
left fielder, Hunter Bruner.
So Lucas a chance to bat. Left-handed swinging pinch hitter. Takes outside, ball one, 1-0. Bruner had gone 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs and a walk and a run scored. Lucas listed as a reserve outfielder here for the Tornadoes. And he looks at the first two pitches. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Tatkenhorst is the on-deck batter, and he is in the on-deck circle, 3-0. Casey has fallen behind Lucas, who came in as a pinch runner, a courtesy runner at one point in time later on here in the game, or earlier in the game, and now here later on. Gets a chance to bat, takes a strike, taking all the way 3-0. 3-1 on the outside corner. That may have, the strike zone may have been a bit extended there in a 9-3 game. Fills the count, 3-2. Pitch from Casey. Goes down and pops it up. Shallow left field, Herzog. In a few and then out a few steps. And Lucas retired, 2 down. Second out of the inning, Anoka down to their final out. For Ryan Tatkenhorst. Grounded to second, doubled, and struck out. 1 for 3 today. Swings at the 1-strike pitch, and it's 0-2. Tornadoes now down to their final strike. Two down, 0-2 to the plate, and Tatkenhorst with a good eye in 0-2. Takes that one low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. If Tatkenhorst can get on, Trevor Lang's spot in the lineup is on deck. Breaking ball from Casey. Thought he had a 3rd strike there, but no dice. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Casey working extremely fast, and he pitches that one up high. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down to the plate, and it misses low. So Tatkenhorst draws the walk. Second time he's been on today. And the Tornadoes extend the game. And here's Trevor Lang, the right fielder. Lang has not put the ball in play yet here today. 3 strikeouts, would love to do that here. Bentley Casey is second inning of work here in relief. Foul back. Strike 1 here to Trevor Lang, the right fielder. Bottom 4 in the starting lineup here for Anoka all made their varsity debuts here this season. Home season debuts today. 0-1. And Lang hits it in the air. Left field. Herzog towards the line. He draws a bead and he makes the catch in foul territory. Lang is retired, as are the Tornadoes here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They lead 1, no runs, no hits, the walk, and 1 left on. And your final here today, the season opener for Elk River, the home opener for Anoka. It's Elk River 9 and Anoka 3. The totals on the board for Elk River: 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. They leave 8. Meanwhile, for Anoka, 3 runs, 6 hits, 5 errors. They left 8. Miles Hansen gets the win for the Elks here today. 5 quality innings, just 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 7, walked 3, hit a batter. Bentley Casey then came in a non-save situation and mopped up in the final 2 innings. Chase Bauer making his varsity debut on the mound. The junior will take the loss 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 5 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, hit a batter, and then Marshall Rassett came in and pitched the final 3 innings, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned, 6 hits with 1 walk. So Elk River opens their season with a win. They are 1-0, conference and overall. They'll be at Coon Rapids on Thursday. Anoka with the loss, they fall to 1-1. They'll be at Robbinsdale Armstrong on Thursday and at Andover on Friday. That game at Andover will be here on QCTV Sports. So it's an Elk River win here today. The Elks spoil the home opener for the Anoka Tornadoes at beautiful Castle Field. Your final 9-3 for Ryan Mush and the entire crew, both back in Champlin and here at Castle Field. I'm Jim Erickson. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching high school baseball on QCTV Sports.